Because the Chaplin is a great part. It's sad and funny. It's touching, and it can be amusing.
He never chased good taste. He chased true taste. The laugh that lands clean, the elegance that hides a knife, the melody that turns a gag into flight.
And he said it should be in black and white, and I'll give you $100 more to make it.
At 99, Mel Brooks can finally say it plainly. 6 films that built his engine. These aren't polite nods, they're blueprints. They taught him timing, audacity, tenderness, and the secret math of when to hold a beat and when to break it.
With a little note, have no anxiety about high anxiety. It's a truly wonderful film. Love, Hitch.
Wow.
Stay to the end for the one film he calls a lifelong North Star. Proof that you can be ridiculous and precise at the same time. And if you listen closely, you can hear the method inside the madness. A director who learned to make chaos feel choreographed, to turn a throwaway gag into a thesis, and to make the punchline arrive exactly when your heart is unguarded. Number 6. The Treasure of the Sierra Madre, 1948. Danger, greed, and the funniest line he ever stole. Some movies don't ask to be funny. They dare you to laugh at danger. John Huston's Sierra Madre is a dust-bitten parable of gold and rot, where men lose their souls in slow motion. What Mel loves isn't a punchline, it's consequence. The stakes are deadly serious, which is exactly why a single sideways echo can split an audience. Alfonso Bedoya's bandit sneers about badges. Decades later, Brooks repeats the line in Blazing Saddles, and the room explodes because solemnity makes the joke lethal. He said outright that he lifted that stinking badges moment, a wink that only works because Huston plays it straight, seriousness as nitroglycerin, comedy as the match. It's the oldest magic in show business. Borrow the weight of tragedy, then flip it with a grin, and let the laugh land like a release valve the audience didn't know it needed. Watch how he ports the energy, not the style. Huston's moral corrosion becomes Brooks's moral subversion. The authority you trusted isn't holy, it's hollow. You laugh, then realize what you laughed at. That's the Brooks signature. Recode a grave image until it detonates in delight. It's not quoting for cool points, it's smuggling meaning through a laugh. Even the cutting pattern nods to Huston's unblinking gaze. Hold a beat, let the tension thicken, then puncture it with a line that reveals the whole system is a costume. When the audience laughs, they're not just amused, they're complicit in seeing through the mask. Number 5. Psycho, 1960. Precision terror, borrowed with love. Mel didn't just parody Hitchcock, he asked the master for directions. When he was writing High Anxiety, he sent Hitch a draft. Hitch watched a cut stone-faced. Then the next day, a crate of Chateau Aubryon arrived with a note. Have no anxiety about high anxiety. It's a wonderful film. Brooks has repeated the story for years, crediting Hitchcock with hands-on help, and even pushing him to do the bird attack gag because yes, if they splatter you, it's funny. The lesson wasn't copy Hitchcock, it was play it straight, then move a half inch. Shoot terror honestly. Let the joke drift in like a draft, build the world with rules so crisp that a single mischief of air feels like a hurricane. That's how parody becomes precision rather than mockery. That's why the Psycho shower homage lands. The blocking is unnervingly correct before the air leaks. Brooks learned how fear sets the table for release, how immaculate framing, spare sound, and a weaponized cut can prime laughter that hits twice as hard. In parody, sincerity is a superpower. If the world feels real, the absurd feels dangerous. That's Hitchcock's gift to Mel, returned with affection and a perfectly timed scream. Even the sound design follows the rule. Sharp, clean stabs of noise, then a hush that invites the chuckle to creep in. When the audience realizes they survived the scare, the laugh doesn't just amuse, it heals the tension the film deliberately wound tight. Number 4. Some Like It Hot, 1959. The classy assassin of comedy endings. Brooks worships Billy Wilder's elegance. The way decent chaos waltzes into a one-line checkmate, he singled out the last button. Nobody's perfect. As a masterclass in comic economy. Leave the audience laughing and satisfied, with a single tilt of logic that makes everything before it snap into place. It's not a joke. It's a thesis statement about love, identity, and the right to want what you want. To Mel, that's virtuosity you don't show off. You withhold it until the final cut, then let it bloom. Wilder teaches that endings aren't decorations, they're verdicts, and the best verdicts absolve everyone except boredom itself. You can feel Wilder's fingerprints on Brooks's rhythm, the reaction shot as punchline, the off-screen gag that's funnier in your head, the way innuendo lets the audience do the last 10% of work. His movies are rowdier than Wilder's, sure, but the wiring is similar. Setups that look polite until the payoff bears teeth. When Brooks talks about perfect endings, he doesn't mean tidy, he means inevitable. Wilder taught him how to make inevitability sing, so he builds scenes like clockwork and then, at the final chime, slips in a human truth that makes you grin and sigh at once. You leave laughing, but you also leave seen. Number 3. The Great Dictator, 1940. Mel has said it flat. No Chaplin, no Mel Brooks. Chaplin's courage, lampooning a tyrant while the world burned, is the origin license for Brooks's audacity. He cites the Balloon Globe Ballet, that wickedly beautiful dance with power's fragile toy. It's comedy with a heartbeat, pathos used as setup, not antidote. To laughter, Chaplin proved you can swing at monsters and still cradle the human face between jokes. That paradox became Brooks's compass. The lesson was never cruelty, it was clarity. Aim the joke upward, shield the vulnerable, and dare to turn fear into music. When you watch The Producers, you're seeing Chaplin's dare filtered through Borscht Belt electricity. Punch up at power, weaponize silliness, let empathy sit under the gag like a bass note. Brooks isn't copying bits, he's importing ethics. Mock the pomp without mocking the vulnerable. And when you trespass, trespass with purpose. The laugh is the sugar, the idea is the medicine, the bravery is doing both at once. That's why his biggest provocations still feel oddly generous. The target is arrogance, not pain. The style may be loud, but the hand guiding it is careful, and the care is what lets the laughter live past the headline. Number 2. Swing Time, 1936. Music as punchline, movement as story. Brooks lights up talking about Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers, and he has introduced Swing Time as one of my favorite movies, singling out the dance studio sequence, Astaire pretending he can't dance just to stay close to Rogers, then detonating the room when he stops pretending. Timing, reveal, reversal, a joke told with feet. Mel recommends everyone see it, not as a museum piece, but as a lesson in how rhythm writes narrative. The scene is a tutorial in comic seduction. Play small to earn the explosion, then let grace do the heavy lifting while the audience leans forward, smiling before the punchline even lands. This is where his musical brain shows. The rule of 3 becomes steps. The punchline is a lift, the cut is a cymbal crash. Even when Brooks isn't making a musical, you can hear Astaire in the architecture, clean setups, graceful misdirection, then the jubilant release. He learned that elegance isn't the enemy of stupidity. Done right, elegance amplifies it. That's the joke engine he hides under his broadest bits, the tap dance phrasing inside the fart joke. Watch any Brooks set piece and you can count the beats. Tease, turn, triumph. The choreography is invisible, but your laughter lands on time like a downbeat you somehow knew was coming. Number 1. Frankenstein, 1931. The Permission. Ask him for one all-timer, and he said his favorites have always been either Frankenstein or Fred Astaire pictures. That tracks. When Brooks and Gene Wilder made Young Frankenstein, they shot it like James Whale lenses, textures, even the black and white, because the love had to be earnest before it could be funny. He calls Young Frankenstein the one that came out perfect, and the reason is simple. The original gave him permission to treat parody like prayer, reverent first, ridiculous second. It's not a cynical send-up, it's a Valentine in a lab coat, a careful resurrection that invites the audience to love the monster before they laugh with him. This is his operating manual. If you honor the source, the laugh deepens. When the camera creeps or the lab crackles, you're inside Wells' cathedral. When the violin quivers and the monster sighs, you're inside Mel's heart. That blend, precision and idiocy, became his holy grail. Frankenstein didn't just teach him how to spoof, it taught him how to love what he's spoofing, and to make the audience feel that love even as they cackle. That's why this sits at the top. The homage isn't shtick, it's stewardship. And stewardship is why the film still plays like new. The bones are classic, the grin is modern, and the heartbeat under the joke is unmistakably human. These 6 aren't tokens, they're manuals for danger, precision, elegance, courage, rhythm, and permission. Mel Brooks didn't chase trends, he chased method. Which scene from these films taught you the most about how to be funny and how to be human? Drop your 7th pick below, and tell us where you first felt that mix of audacity and heart. If this made you see his films differently, stick around for more Blueprint deep dives into the minds that shaped our laughter. After all, comedy ages, but courage doesn't.